really what I got from this was in the first minute, right? And this is what my son is a crazy kid, right? As a very young child, I always used to teach him stories. We would start a story, and I always read to him, right? And he's like, tell me, he cannot go to bed without a story, right? So I said, one day we visited a house, and there's a big tree out the back, and there's this huge lizard. It's about 1 meter long, this lizard, right? And my son grew up in Ho Chi Minh City. He's never seen anything like that wasn't barbecued, right? So here's this lizard in his backyard, running around, right? So I said, okay, how are we going to deal with this? I don't want to make him scared. So I said, he was 4, just turned 4. I said, I want to tell you about a magical mango tree. This mango tree doesn't have mangoes, it has mango phones. And every time the phone rings, all these mangoes are shaking in the tree. And the protector of the tree is the tree crocodile. And we started this story, my son and I, he's only 4, right? And every day he adds to this story. You know what happened to the tree crocodile? I don't know what happened to it. Well, and he goes off in this world, right? He already knows how to write a book, how to write a story, tell a story at 4. But what happens, as we get older, we get to about 7, and at school we have to conform with the rest. We have to fit in, stay in the lines. Don't daydream. Don't stare out the window, don't have ideas, whatever you do. Follow the follower next door. But as a young kid, what this guy was talking about, young kids know all about creativity. When you ask them to draw, they, like this. And I did this in my home. I filled the apartment with paper all across the walls. And I said, draw me a map of the world. And what's that? That's a kangaroo. Oh, and there's an elephant. Fantastic, right? He sees it in his mind. I never ever said to him, you can't draw. I never ever said to him that what you're doing there is crazy or your stories are just too weird. I never said that. But what happens when kids get to school, and we all went through this, we are taught to stop creating. But we don't have to. We're in a new world now. And particularly in Vietnam, where we're really opening up now. We've got this new vibrance and energy that we haven't had in this country for a long time. Right? This is really something happening here. What he's saying there is to be creative and lose yourself. If you want to draw, when I draw, I don't draw a picture, I take my pencil for a walk. I never know what it's going to look like until it's over. Right? I just take my pencil for a walk. When I do a video, Gary takes many of my videos, and you're welcome to see my videos. I've got a bunch of videos online. I don't write a script. The information comes from somewhere, I don't know where, I just let it go. Alright, so just stop being so tightly bound and let yourself create. You can all create. You can make the clothes, write a book, make a film, draw a picture, sing a song. Who's got kids? Who's got children? So you know they've got weird minds, haven't they, right? What they see and how they play act. Well, we have to be more like them, right? Because at that very young age, they are not learning, they're absorbing, and they're free thinking. And it's only when they get a bit older we say, no, you're not allowed to think like that. Why is that? Dad? Actually, sometimes I step over the line. My son the other day said, Dad, I was watching something on TV. What's a sex worker do? Oh, that's the next chapter. We'll talk about that later on. I didn't know how to answer that, right? But most things I let him create. I go into the bookshop, we buy books on famous artists, on politicians, on Tesla, on Einstein, and we go through it so that he can believe, right? And we need to do that as adults. Find the child inside, go a little crazy. Robin Williams said, you know, Robin Williams, actor, funny guy, right? Actor. He was in Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, you know Mrs. Doubtfire, right? Very funny guy, right? He was in a bunch of movies. He said this: we are all gifted with a tiny speck of crazy. Don't lose it. Don't lose your crazy. Right? That's given to you. Every one of us gets our own spark. I've got a different spark. You all have different sparks. You've got to go back to when you were a little guy and let it loose. Right? So that's the message I get out of that. And the rest is all in Korean. You're welcome to watch it. I was not expecting that. Was a surprise. That was a gift, right? So thanks for that, guys. So we're going to move on to the next one now. This is another one of my favorites. It's about body language. Come back to your pet, your dog, your cat, right? You know that we have developed this language. And again, step back to kids, right? What about this child mind, right? The most complicated things of all things existing on this planet is already mastered by every child by the time they're 6, nearly everyone, right? Without any teaching. Without going to university, without going to school. They learn to talk and walk, then they do it regardless of what mum and dad says. They're going to learn to talk. They're going to learn to walk. They absorb knowledge and they're free to adapt. It's only later that we put the lid on, right? And we say, oh, no, don't hold the pencil that way. Why? Who said it has to be that way? It doesn't have to be that way, right? You can't write with your left hand, you should write with your right. Who cares? Who cares? What difference does it make? There are people that can write with their toes, paint with their tongue. Who cares? So getting back to this next video, right? This is about body language, right? Animals cannot communicate the way we can. But we still have the skills that they have. Because our minds have evolved over millions of years from when we were something else altogether. So we have the non-verbal communication identifiers and skills that they have. A dog can tell when you walk in the room if you've had a bad day. Your cat knows. They can see it. They can see it in your face, in your eyes, in the way you walk, the way you hold yourself. Your family, your loved one, your children, your people in your work, even the people online can tell when you've had a crummy day, right? They feel your energy. They can see it in the way you hold yourself. Are you locked up? Are you floating a little bit, you know? Something, they can read it. We can still read it, but sometimes we don't know we're giving it out, right? So, she's going to talk. This is the same lady we saw before, so you've already met her. And she's going to talk about body language and how important it is. And I want you to listen to this. Is important. So, there's a couple of things I always like to do. I missed some of you coming in today, but those people who I did meet will know the first thing I do is I come and I shake the hand, I look you in the eye, and I repeat your name. Because I know that that's important to you. Right? So we can create a connection. These are important things and cues when we meet people. The most important thing to you is your name, because your mother gave it to you, your father gave it to you. Right? No one can take that away from you. When I share my energy with you and I look forward, I lean forward, and I give you my attention, you know I'm only sharing with you. These are important cues. If you're meeting people, you're into sales, you're into something. People only care about themselves, right? They only care about themselves. So make sure you look after them first. You look after them and your life will be okay, right? Married guys, happy wife, happy life, right? Happy wife, happy life. You married? Yeah, you're already thinking about it, working on it, practicing. I don't know. I got to give you a little tip, right? This is for everybody. When we did the last TED talk, Hive talk, I did it in the other Hive. And every time you hear about this, you should come, right? The last one was about, it relates to this stress thing, right? It's a couple of things I never do. I never talk about money in bed, right? Your husband is playing a game with you, but I never talk about money in bed. And I never, ever go to sleep, and my wife the same, without solving today's problems. Never go to sleep angry. If I lay there and I'm all bent up about something, we sit down, we work it out. She can feel my energy, right? She knows I got the crummies. She's not going to sleep all night because she thinks it's her fault, right? And as a man, I'm a little bit poor at communicating, so I'm probably don't want to talk about it. I'd rather drink beer and race down the road or do something. And she's going, come on, let's talk about it. But I have taught myself to fix it before we go to bed and sleep, right? So we're in love again every night. Every night I fall in love again with my wife. 11 years. 11 years. Like we just the first day, right? And every morning when I wake up, first thing I do, hug her, kiss her, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to still be in love with the girl I just met last night, right? So this I do every day. Makes magical marriage, right? So my other marriage before was a bit of a disaster, but we won't talk about that. So this I do every day. And there's another thing I do, this for you guys, this is a special trick, right? You're going to remember this, guarantee you, right? And you're going to play this trick on him, and he's going to forget, but you're going to win, right? So what I did was one day we had some growing pains. And I said, I tell you what we'll do. I'm a logical thinker. Let's make a list of all the really good things about me. And I'm going to make a list of all the good things about you. And then we're going to put a line down the middle. I'm going to put a list about all the things that you need to fix. That's not right about you. And I want you to make a long list, long as you can, extra page here, all the things that I need to fix. Oh, she's busy, right? Right, she's busy, right? Big long list. And I said, all right, it's time. What have you got? Oh, that's a list, right? Okay. So I said, I don't know if I can get them all done at once, but just put top three, number 1, 2, 3, the rest I'll deal with later, right? So she said, all right, show me the list of the things I need to fix. And I said, I'm sorry, honey, I tried, but I couldn't think of one thing. I failed. What happened? Oh, tears, right? Oh, she's made this list. And I said, I just can't think of one thing. Of course I could if I tried, but that was irrelevant, right? And we've done this a number of times now, and every time I can't think of anything I want to change. So what happens then is my partner's looking for things to change, right? What can I change? What can I change? Nothing, dear. No, you're perfect. Some things, no, you're perfect. And that makes her feel respected, right? The most important thing in partnership is to be respected by somebody and respect them. But they won't respect you until you give twice, and it'll come back, right? So that's my trick, and you can use it or not, up to you. So it's a little bit off track, but we're going into body language now. It's important. Some things you see that I did here with my body language, sharing, my energy, giving. You see, this is another thing, giving, looking, sharing. She's going to teach you a few things. We are in a whole new world of social media now, right? Often people just blurb things out without consciousness, right? But I personally believe we are in a new age of social awareness. where I know you're affected by my comments. So first off, I just, but after a while, I know that I'm going to get that back. So I think we're on the tip of this new age of social consciousness where we care about the people in Africa and China and wherever else, even Iran, right? Feel sorry for those that crashed, that Iranian aircraft that crashed, a Ukrainian aircraft, wasn't it? A Ukrainian aircraft crashed in Iran. Tragic, right? It was tragic. So you're the only Ukrainians I know, by the way, but my heart is taken by that. So we're in this whole new world, right? So please look at this one, then we'll have a few questions, and then we'll get on to setting up your fantastic 2020. All right, so enjoy. This one's in Swedish. Anyone's? No, just kidding.
So I want to start by offering you a free no-tech life hack.
Well, I would like to make a comment on the last TED Talk video because I saw it like a year or 2 years ago. I believe, yeah, 2 years ago. Even 2016, 17, 16, whatever. So, yeah, I have watched it a few times already. So, and it really opened my mind, and I've been really practicing it. Like for sometimes, you know, like sometimes I just forget about it. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it. But when I remember it and when I convince myself doing it, it really works. And I'm also teaching at the university in Russia, so I also shared it with my students, and I think it helped them too because like I've heard some of the feedback. So I don't know about the other videos, but this video like for sure works, and it proved it.
Well done.
Yeah, it proved it wrong. It proved it.
Put to action.
Yeah.
Anybody else got a question? Fine. Make it until you become it, right? So, mind and body are one, right? And we learn this in the great thinkers have told us that. Mind and body are one. So, use that last video to really empower yourself, right? Believe in yourself. If you love yourself, this is what I have a friend of mine, he's got all sorts of challenges in his love life, right? And I said to him, this is a very simple message for you. I said, how can you love anybody if first you don't love and respect yourself? Nobody wants somebody who's dragging their knees on the ground and their chin in the dust. Somebody who's confident and strong and loves themselves is a lovable person. That's the first person you need to respect the most, right? So from what I take from that is you should empower yourself, right? Use those skills. Open up, feel strong. But different cultures have different things too, right? Did you notice her put her hand in her face and cover her nose? Some cultures don't think you're not going to get hurt. I could hear her sniffing. She has a cough. Or her nose is running. Some cultures might take it the wrong way. Stand there like that, and that could be offensive, right? Stand there like that means something completely different. But it needs power to use it. Use it for yourself, like you said. Empower yourself first. Become lovable to you, become strong to you, and then others will fall into that, or not fall into that, attached to you in the right way. So that's what I took out of that last one. So now is the time we can commit. Did anybody get a goal now already? You did good work. I don't want to know that.
Oh, I'm not going to share it anyway.
Did you get 5 actions?
Well, 4, but I'm thinking on the 5th
There are
one.
4 ideas here, right? 4, just think back. The first one was about being grateful right now, happy in this moment for your health, for your knowledge and your skills and your ability. You're already a famous university teacher. And so you have a lot going for you already, right? Highly attracted to all those girls and buildings. So you already have that great pull in the first moment. The second one was, does anybody remember the second video? Second one? That should be a good card because you did say that there's something going to work on, right? So no stress, stress-free, right? Stress-free. What you think about comes about, okay? The Buddha said that. And then others as well. So not stress, but stress-free. I'm enjoying stress-free life. The third one, find.
Korean.
Yeah. Find your artist inside. Find that creative genius. When I talk about finding your purpose, I call it the G-spot. Find your G-spot. Means different things to different people, right? But find your G-spot, your little genius. Go to the little child that was that crazy little kid, that crazy, mixed up, imaginative kid who didn't really care, who spoke a new language altogether. And no matter how I did, go to that little kid. And the last one was?
What is it?
Body and mind are one, right? Feel your body, shape your body the way you want, and you'll feel confident. You don't see too many strong bodybuilders who are not confident about themselves, right? Because they look in the mirror every day and say, oh my God, oh yes, that's a good looking guy, right? They feel strong, and other people, when you walk up the street, you see that guy, he radiates that energy, right? So, fake it until you become it. So, all right. So that was what I wanted to share with you today. My promise to you. We have gone over time. I'm sorry for that. But I understand if you want to stay long, I'm here to talk and share ideas and things. You can stay as long as you want. I think they're still serving behind the bar for a while. But that's pretty much it. Please take that card. Give it the energy that will change it. You don't need to show anybody. You need to find the child inside of there and praise him. There are no limits to what we can achieve if you put your heart and mind into it. Right? But you've got to take action. Because it's not a wishful thinking. Remember what he said in gratitude? Stop. Look where I am right now. Steady and all right, am I good? Everyone good? Any questions? Have a wonderful year. I'm here for a few minutes longer. If you want to talk, I'm happy to share.